Good day, Doctor and my fellow friends. I am Evelyn Grace Peter from 21P, your moderator for today's debate. Joining me are classmates Noor Inas, Tan Jaan, Husna Izati, Wan Shamil, Feng Kachan. Today we are here to delve into the critical ethical issue that emerged during the tumultuous times of COVID-19. Our focus today centers around the series of decisions made by the Indian government during the COVID-19 pandemic, particularly from the end of 2020 to early 2021. These decisions have significant implications for both India and the global community. Initially, the government claimed victory over the virus coinciding with the 2021 election. Pressure from citizens and religious groups led to call for easing lockdown restrictions. While India initially played a commendable role in vaccine exports, a subsequent ban due to domestic shortage raised ethical concern. These decisions posed legal risk for vaccine manufacturers and triggered global chain reactions, including exports banned by the United States and European Union. Let us now hear from our debaters as they present their argument for and against the decision made by the government of India. Each perspective contributes to our understanding of the ethical considerations surrounding the complex and sensitive issue. Without further ado, let the debate begin. The government assertion of victory amid uncertainty raises question about transparency. This is point A. What is your opinion about this, Kachan?
Thank you, moderator. I agree that optimistic public communication is important during a crisis. It boosts morale and promoting adherence to health guidelines. The Indian government tells people that outbreak has resolved in order to calm them down. However, I deny that having misleading information erodes public trust. Telling lies for the greatest good of the citizen is not bad sometimes, because India did come over the phenomenon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kachan. How about you, Tan Jaan?
Thank you, moderator. I would disagree with this point. It would seem that the government's assertion that it has won the battle against COVID-19 in India is both premature and misleading. In the event that the situation getting worse, it may result in a lack of safety measures, a mood of contentment with the existing circumstances, and a decrease in trust and belief among the general population. In order to guarantee the confidence and safety of the general public, ethical responsibility necessitates communication that is both open and fact-based. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaan. I understand both of your opinion, but the most pleasing opinion is Jaan's. Transparency is the key for effective crisis management. That's all for this topic. We will move on to the next topic. Point B. Citizen and religious groups are pushing for easing lockdown. What about your opinion, Jaan?
Thank you, moderator. For this point, I would like to say that citizens and religious organizations have expressed a desire to reduce lockdown, which is a reasonable request. A great number of families and people's livelihoods have suffered as a result of the prolonged restrictions. There is also a significant role that religious celebrations have in the culture and society of the community. Finding a balance between public health, economic concerns, and the preservation of cultural tradition is necessary for holistic well-being. As a result, a lockdown that is controlled and gradually relaxed while adhering to safety precautions might potentially license the cost placed on the public and safeguard public health. That's all from me.
Thank you, Jaan. What about you, Husna?
Thank you, moderator. I disagree with what Jaan said. I understand the anxieties around livelihoods and cultural practices. Everyone wants to live safely and freely. However, minimizing the pandemic's effect is reckless. We cannot sacrifice our health for short-term comfort. Finding a balance requires thoughtful solutions, not ignoring risks. Together, we can safeguard life, livelihood, and tradition while investigating target lockdowns. providing financial support to vulnerable population and safely adapting cultural practices. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you both for your insight. I conclude that disagreeing to ease lockdown is the best opinion to curb the spread of virus. Economic gain and religious belief can wait, as we have only one life to secure. Let's move to the next topic. Point C. India's vaccine export ban amid shortages. What do you think about it, Husna?
Okay, thank you, moderator. I agree to the point. Nobody wishes for shortages upon any nation. However, during a crisis, the Indian government's primary responsibility lies with its 1.4 billion citizens. Their health and safety must be the top priority. Imagine healthcare workers battling a surge without enough vaccines, or vulnerable populations left unprotected. India has already played a crucial role in global vaccine production. Now it's focusing on accelerating domestic vaccination to reach herd immunity and curb the virus spread. International cooperation should continue, but with a focus on equitable distribution once India's needs are met. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Husna. What about you, Kachun?
First of all, I disagree about Husna. India has world-class medical technology and has enough human resource to manufacture vaccine. The Indian government can do this by increase the manufacturing of vaccine. This can improve the India's position in the international arena. We should approach other countries with the mindset of helping each other. Thank you.
Point D. Vaccine manufacturers breaching contract as per government instructions. What about you, Inas?
Thank you, moderator. I agree with point D. Support for the decision by vaccine manufacturing to breach contract can be grounded in the belief that prioritizing public health is paramount. Advocate may argue that the government in fulfilling that its duty to safeguard citizen well-being can justify altering contractual obligation to address a pressing health crisis. This perspective sees breaching contract as a critical measure to enhance vaccine production and distribution during emergency, aligning with the product responsibility to protect the population. Thank you.
Thank you, Inas. How about you, Ikon?
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to say thank you, moderator, and thank you, Inas. Even though the point that have been stated by Inas, there are several parts that is correct, but for me, breach the contract is a bad thing for their own economy. First thing, we need to prioritize their own economy and also their country. Why I said so? The contract that have been signed by Indian is between other countries. If Indian breach the contract, other country will take their investment and they will face where they will not have enough capital to produce vaccine for their own use. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Inas and Ikwan. I will conclude it as a neutral ground since the government has a pressing issue to save its citizen, and on the other hand, the manufacturers are compelled to act so. Both parties well known about the consequences they're going to face in the future. Let's move on to the next topic. Point E. Countries banning exports of raw material to India in retaliation. What about you, Ikwan?
Thank you, moderator. I have agreed with the statement that has been stated in this topic. This is because the act from government India was very bad decision. Firstly, we need to know the use of production vaccine was to prevent the spread of COVID-19. This COVID-19 disease is difficult to deal with. That's why I have agreed to banning the export of raw material to India was the correct way to teach them a lesson. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ikwan. What do you have to say, Inas?
For me, I disagree because basic one nation, raw material provision and retribution against single Indian industry is risky. Blaming India, a major vaccine manufacturer, worsened shortage and hurt many dependent nations. Retaliation encourages mistrust and undermine global collaboration. For equal access, we must promote conversation and collaboration about conflict. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ikwan and Inas. I understand what both of you are trying to point out, but I totally disagree with Ikwan's point because it is a life or death situation. People are dying. We should have a little humanity in us before teaching them a lesson. More precisely, both the country at least sit and talk to avoid all this unnecessary dilemma. Thank you. We will move to the next topic. Now we'll discuss about point F. If the same situation happens in Malaysia, what would be the ethical way to handle the situation? We will start with Ikwan first.
Okay, in my opinion, what should Malaysia have done is that Malaysia should not breach the contract with its business partner. For example, manufacturer may negotiate with their partners with small talk by telling them to patiently wait and give them time to settle the national crisis for a certain period of time, for example 3 months. By doing this, the raw material needed to produce vaccine will never be halt.
Thank you, Ikwan. Jaan?
In my opinion, Malaysian government will support vulnerable groups. It is important to provide targeted assistance to disadvantaged groups and people who have been affected by lockdowns or economic challenge. This help should ensure that these individuals and communities have access to essentials such as food, housing, and healthcare.
Thank you, Jaan. Husna?
Okay. In my opinion, Malaysian government should not only focus too much on the vaccines but also make sure the essential medical resources like oxygen tanks and protective equipment are enough. Government also should care about the frontliners as well as their citizens.
Thank you. Husna. Inas?
In my opinion, to handling COVID-19 situation, government should do lockdown strictly, targeted closure in high risk area, accompanied by support for affected business and individual, can see a balance between public health and economic well-being. That's all.
Thank you, Inas. Kachin?
Thank you, moderator. Transparent communication. As example, Malaysia government use mass data to collect COVID-19 situation. The government can announce and hazard any action being taken. The government can announce that the COVID has been solved for political purpose. They must make sure every information is facted and supported by significant data. Thank you.
Thank you, Kachin. Thank you, everybody. Now I'd like to conclude our debate. In conclusion, our debate highlighted the ethical considerations of the Indian government's decision during the COVID-19 pandemic. It emphasized the importance of continuous dialogue, collaboration, and commitment to shred humanity in times of uncertainty. Navigating crisis requires adherence to ethical principle and flexibility in tailoring response to specific circumstances. Moving forward, let's strive for a world where nations work together to address global challenges while safeguarding the citizens' well-being. Thanks to our debaters for their insightful contributions. Thank you.